again like I never left. Young Sinai said that's to the death. We turned up till we go deaf. Rep packs on my last breath. I cut records like Kid Cudi. Day and night, that's all the time from the underground.
Hey, welcome back to the cinema car. Even though clearly I'm not sitting in a car, I'm in the comfort of my very small, very, very hot room. Quinn's actually at work right now, so I just thought I'd quickly record a video on my thoughts of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and just kind of talk about Jurassic World and the state of the franchise in general. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Honestly, was very, very disappointed when I saw it. I mean, I didn't have high hopes just because of how, like, Jurassic World 1, I liked it, but it was really lackluster, and I feel like it was, these new movies are just unnecessary, honestly. Like, they could have left it at Jurassic Park 3 and called it a day. Like, new movies for a franchise are always cool, but not if they're mediocre popcorn action flicks, you know what I mean? Now, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is not as good as Jurassic World, honestly. It was written by Colin Trevorrow, just like the first one was, except it was directed by, I forget his name, I'll put his name up in the video. And like from an action standpoint, and like dinosaurs are, you know, nobody ever complains about the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park movies. Like, they're, well, you know, except for the Spinosaurus. A lot of people like to complain about the Spinosaurus. I like the Spinosaurus, honestly, but I can see why people wouldn't like him. He killed the T-Rex, you know, fan favorite. But Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom had some pretty cool dinosaurs, honestly. Like, you got the T-Rex, again, from the very first Jurassic Park. The Carnotaurus made an appearance, finally. The Baryonyx, which has been in the franchise since the first movie, but has never made an appearance, so that was cool. That was cool to see. There was a quick little shot of an Allosaurus running away from the volcano at one point, which was pretty dope, honestly. And, like, the shot of the T-Rex roaring after beating the Carnotaurus in front of the volcano exploding, it's in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, per se. But it's just a beautiful shot, and like, you got the iconic T-Rex roar. Like, it was just awesome. Okay, but I'm gonna actually talk about this movie for real. I give Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom like a 6 out of 10. Like, it was entertaining. Like, I enjoyed it, but it just didn't have the same feel, like the same like magical, you know. Just didn't have the same feel as the first movie. The first 3 movies, honestly. Like, the only cool things in the movie happened in the first half an hour when they were on the island and the volcano was exploding. Like, the rest of the movie takes place in a rich guy's house. Colin Trevorrow said that he basically wrote Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom just for the end result of getting dinosaurs on the mainland. Because that was his goal the whole time. And then the final chapter of this Jurassic World trilogy is going to be humanity's not at the top of the food chain anymore because dinosaurs are running around, and it's just fucking up the ecosystem, you know? Like, the world's different, and it doesn't have a place for dinosaurs anymore, a place where they can, you know, integrate themselves, like, safely and not fuck up other beings' lives, you know what I mean? So Colin definitely achieved that, but the movie suffered for it because, you know, when you're writing a movie just to get to the end of it, the movie itself suffers. Like, you gotta write a good movie first. And, like, I'm not saying the first Jurassic World or, you know, any of the Jurassic Parks, honestly, have had, like, the best dialogue, except for the first one. First one's beautifully written. But this one had really bad dialogue. There's a line when they get to the island where one of the annoying as fuck side characters, like, the side characters were honestly the worst, but I'll get to them in a second. There's one of the side characters is like complaining about the humidity, the heat of, like, you know, because they're on Isla Nublar, it's in Costa Rica, you know, it's pretty hot. So he's complaining about the heat, and Chris Pratt's character Owen Grady looks at him and then looks over to the exploding volcano, and he's just like, "Oh, it's about to get hotter. It's about to get hotter." Like, that's just some corny shit. Like, who wrote, like, it felt like it was written by a 12-year-old. Like, it's like a fan fiction. I feel like this movie they didn't know how to use Chris Pratt. Because Chris Pratt, I love Chris Pratt. He's fantastic. But he can only play one type of character. Like, he doesn't have much range. He can play that, wisecracking, funny action hero. Like Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy and Owen Grady in Jurassic World. But that's about it. And, like, he's not the most interesting character, honestly. Like, even in the first Jurassic World. And this movie turned him into just, like, a mindless action hero that was just there to, deliver the one-liners and beat people up. Like, there's this scene straight out of The Matrix where he's just going through security guards. He's just punching his way through. Meanwhile, there's, like, an auction going on where all these people are buying... everyone complained about it in the first movie, the military subplot, like, where they're trying to train the raptors to fight in the army. Like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. In this movie, they're still harping on that plot line. Like, they got all these, like, warlords from all these countries at this house auctioning, like, they're bidding on dinosaurs for, like, a couple $1 million. These dinosaurs should be worth billions, and I just thought that was the dumbest scene ever, honestly. Bryce Dallas Howard, I like her. She's a fine actress. She's good. There's nothing wrong with her acting. But again, like, there was forced character development from her. Like, she was in Jurassic World, she kind of sucked too. She was just this, like, robotic, lady who ran the park and just kind of pissed off her nephews and just kind of sucked, honestly. And she was basically the reason the Indominus Rex escaped. She did the same thing that John Hammond did from Jurassic Park 1 to The Lost World. Like, I feel like Ian Malcolm is just in these movies to, deliver exposition and to critique everything everyone does. Like, John Hammond's sending a team to Isla Sorna to document and save the animals on the island. And he's just like, "Oh, you've become a capitalist. You're a capitalist to naturalist in just 4 years. That's something." The same thing happened to Claire. She's not, she doesn't work for Jurassic World. She doesn't work for InGen anymore. She doesn't consider the animals assets. Like, she said it, like, gazillion times in Jurassic World 1.
The lab delivers us finished assets of an asset out of container. That doesn't mean asset development is falling behind.
Can we just focus on the asset, please?
The asset?
She's in charge of this group called the Dinosaur Protection Group, which is like this activist group who's trying to get support to go in and save the dinosaurs from the volcano exploding. And it's just like a complete flip from what she was in Jurassic World 1. I couldn't stand her character in this movie. It was not because of her, but because of how they wrote her character into the movie. Now, let's talk about the side characters. I don't even remember their names. Like, there's the kid who's they're both part of the Dinosaur Protection Group. And the kid is, the whole time they're on the island, he goes to the island he's like a computer hacker or something. He goes to the island with them, and he just complains the whole time. Complains about the heat, complains about how he's there, and it's like, dude, why did you go there then? Like, chill. Like, shut up. I just wanted to shut him up. And then he screams, too, like a little girl. Like, he screams multiple times. Baryonyx shows up at one point and tries to kill Claire and him, and he just screams. And I just was like, shut the fuck up. Like, just shut up. I hated it. And then the other side character, she wasn't as bad. There's this other girl. I can't remember their names. They were so forgettable and irritating. I just can't remember them. She was what they call a dinosaur veterinarian, which is this new study that has come out, and she's apparently like an expert at biology with dinosaurs. She can like heal any dinosaur. And at Blue, the Velociraptor makes a return, and she's very injured at one point. And this character is like, oh, if you get some T-Rex blood, I could do a transfusion. It's like, how on earth are these two animals related at all that you can just give them a blood transfusion? So they have to go and get blood out of the T-Rex, and I mean, it's a kind of cool scene. They use like the T-Rex practical head from the other movies, which was pretty cool, honestly. Yeah, like again, like this movie, visually this movie was fine, you know, it was cool, it was entertaining, but just I couldn't stand the characters. Even the main characters, they just were bad. Let's move on to the cinematography. There's a couple shots in the movie that just, they either fill you with nostalgia, make you super sad, or both. Like, again, the T-Rex shot with the volcano exploding in the background, like, it was just awesome. Like, it was the best shot in the movie. There's another shot in the movie where the Brachiosaurus, which was the first dinosaur we ever saw in Jurassic Park 1, the last remaining Brachiosaur, as the island's overtaken by lava, is on the dock as they're leaving with the dinosaurs they managed to rescue. It rears up on its hind legs like it did in the first movie and just starts like it's like crying. It's like its roar sounds like it's like lamenting. It's sad. And the lava just, you know, overtakes it, covers the whole island, and ends up killing it. And that was the last remaining Brachiosaurus that InGen cloned. That species dipped back into extinction. It was emotional for like the first like 5 seconds. Like I was like, oh, that's really sad. Like I wanted to tear up, honestly. But then it just like dragged it on. Like it lasted like a minute just with this sad music and everyone's crying in the movie and the Brachiosaurus is dying and it's like, okay, I get it. Like chill. Like relax. Like it's sad. Okay, I get it. But like move on. You're just you're padding out the screen time at this point. There was some cool shots like in the mansion of Benjamin Lockwood, who was a business partner of John Hammond back in the day. They started InGen bioengineering together. There's some cool shots of the new dinosaur, the Indoraptor, which is it's like another version of the Indominus Rex, except it doesn't have T-Rex DNA, I believe. Like it's more akin to like a Velociraptor, except it walks on 4 legs and it's a lot smaller than the Indominus Rex. And like it's a pretty scary dinosaur, honestly. Like it looks really cool, and there's a couple scenes where it, you know, it's pretty tense. Like this dinosaur is pretty scary looking, but it's the most they you know, Henry Wu makes a return and he created this dinosaur, and he's pushing it on everybody like it's this like trained killer. Like, you know, everyone in their dog is gonna buy this animal and use it in warfare, and it's like, what? And then it gets loose and you end up seeing it going after people, and it doesn't, you know, it kills 2 guards in the movie, and it doesn't do much. It's pretty incompetent. Like it's not this like great killer that, you know, Wu was marketing it as. The thing that I didn't like about this movie is, you know, five Jurassic movies in and people are still wanting to, you know, clone dinosaurs and use them for things, and it's like, like the first Jurassic Park movie, the whole moral of the story was man shouldn't play God. Man shouldn't create extinct animals, especially dinosaurs. There's no room for them in this world anymore. And that was the lesson John Hammond learned by the end of it. Ian Malcolm was right. And it ends like pretty finally. Like you could have ended the franchise right there, honestly. Like Jurassic Park didn't even need a sequel. And then every movie since has gone against that moral, and nobody learns anything. Like in The Lost World, you know, InGen decides to bring a Tyrannosaurus Rex to San Diego to be in their park, and it gets loose. And like, you know, at that point they reference that in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and you know, that was in 1997. Like they should have learned their lesson. Like it's just not a good idea, you know? This movie is very similar to The Lost World in that respect, because nobody's learned anything. And like by the end of the movie, the dinosaurs are loose on the mainland, and they're gonna fuck everything up, honestly. So a couple questions people have had about Jurassic World since the first Jurassic World came out. What happened to Isla Sorna? Honestly, I liked Isla Sorna more than Isla Nublar just because of the more variety of dinosaurs it had. And like we know now that like people have been asking like where was the Spinosaurus in the Lost World? Well, we now know because of the Dinosaur Protection Group website, which they've put up like as marketing for Fallen Kingdom, and they talk about InGen and their dealings since the Lost World. So after the Lost World, the Gene Guard Act was put in place, which forbade InGen from continuing any dinosaur-related activities. But after the Mizrahi Corporation acquired InGen, they sent in scientists to Isla Sorna in 1999, where they cloned 4 illegal species: Ankylosaurus, Corythosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and Spinosaurus. These were illegal species, and that's why Billy Brennan and Alan Grant in Jurassic Park 3 were having a conversation about the Spinosaurus they had just encountered and how it wasn't on InGen's list of cloned dinosaurs. So they're suspicious of where it came from. So the Dinosaur Protection Group confirms that they were illegal species that InGen created after the Lost World. So the Spinosaurus wasn't on the island during the Lost World. That's why the T-Rexes still ruled the island. And because of the Spinosaurus and Ceratosaurus, 2 more predators that, were on the island, and the Spinosaurus was confirmed to be a genetic hybrid that InGen experimented on. It was kind of the beginnings of the Indominus, like where that would go. And the Spinosaurus was a very invasive species. Like it just was slaughtering dinosaurs left and right. Like it was disrupting the ecosystem that had formed since InGen abandoned their facilities in 1995 or 1993, I believe. Same time as Jurassic Park 1. So now we know what happened to Isla Sorna, because the Dinosaur Protection Group confirmed that InGen and the Mizrahi Corporation, when they were building Jurassic World, they sent in hunters in the same manner as they did in the Lost World. They sent in hunters to round up a bunch of the dinosaurs they were going to showcase in Jurassic World when it was finished building. And combined with that and the invasive species InGen had cloned, it resulted in no more dinosaurs living on Isla Sorna. So as of 2018, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, there's no dinosaurs on Isla Sorna. Which is really sad to me, because like it was a flourishing, ecosystem. Like the end of the Lost World was pretty positive. Like all the dinosaurs were living in harmony, like there was a food chain established, like everything worked, and then InGen fucked it up. So it's cool that we know what's happened to the island since Jurassic Park 3, but it doesn't sit well with me. Like I would have liked Isla Sorna to appear in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, because there were rumors that there was going to be like a Spinosaurus T-Rex rematch in which, the T-Rex from Jurassic Park 1, Rexy as people call her, who's the largest Tyrannosaurus Rex InGen has ever created, she would have destroyed the Spinosaurus, honestly. The Spinosaurus that InGen created. But we also know that the Spinosaurus is it's implied that the Spinosaurus is dead, because InGen didn't take it, wasn't on display in Jurassic World. InGen didn't take it from the island, and there's no more dinosaurs on Isla Sorna. So it's assumed that it's dead, because where else would it be? So I feel like Jurassic World in its current state is in a pretty bad place, and they're going to have to really bring it home in 3. Like, I hope Colin Trevorrow got what he wanted out of Jurassic World 2, and he's going to really give us a good final chapter to this trilogy, this new Jurassic trilogy, with the dinosaurs on the mainland. Yeah, I mean, I have hopes that, they'll finish it strong. I'll be buying Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom on Blu-ray when it comes out, just because I have the rest of them, and I just hope it's good, I hope they fix things that they should have had down in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Okay guys, that's it for me today. Just some thoughts on Jurassic World in its current state. We're going to be doing a Purge discussion. Me and Quinn saw it the other night. It's pretty bad, honestly. Yeah, so we're going to have a review and discussion about the Purge movies. And my movie collection video is going to be coming out soon as I record that. We're working on getting some better equipment, so that's going to, help us make better videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.